We are on step 3. The good news is that these steps rely on using data that you already have, so it's not a lot of typing unlike the last step. So before we go forward, you're going to want to pull up the Excel document that OHR sent you that has all of the preferred criteria questions as well as the candidate names. It's called the eligible list, but has all of the questions and all that information there, because basically we're going to be importing that into Coda so that we can debias the document in question. So that's a pretty exciting thing that Coda can do, but it requires a little bit more dialogue with other programs, so we'll get into that. So if you have the document open, I have a sample one here that has kind of the format that you need and the kind of just sample questions and sample answers. So obviously this list might be a lot longer, might span out all the way here, but we're going to do the exact same thing. So what you're going to want to do is take your table and highlight it from the top left of it. And again, you might have to go up here, you might have to go down here, but just highlight the table. Then we're going to Command C, then right click instead of just copying and pasting. And when you right click, you're going to want to click this little paste option that says transpose. And the reason we're doing that is because it will switch the X and the Y axis and we'll put candidate names on the left and questions on the top, which makes it a lot easier for Coda to use. So again, all I did was I copied and pasted I copied the table, and then instead of pasting, I right clicked and it allowed me to see all these paste options, and then I clicked transpose, and it did exactly what I said, right? It put the questions on the x-axis and the candidate names on the y-axis. So you can see over here it switched them. And now this is going to make it a lot easier for Coda to use. So what we're going to do here is if you go back to the Coda table, and then click expand, you can see that this question table is exactly what you should have now. So this requires a little bit of copying and pasting, but you have all the information. So this is question 1. So just Command C, go back, question 1, you double click on the header because we want to title it. Then you put in the question. Then you do the same for question 2, Command C. Then you go back to question 2. Same thing for question 3. Copy and paste. Question 4, Command C. All right. So you have all these questions, and if you ever want to make the box bigger, you can just go like that. You see you have more room now. And then what we're going to do is copy and paste all the candidate information data. And this part's a little easier. You can just highlight, let's say you have all these candidates. It might go down a lot more because you're probably going to have more than 2 candidates. But you copy and paste that. And now all you have to do is just Command V. And you see it's populated the Coda table. And obviously these candidate names should be, John Smith, it should be Jane Doe, etc. But what you'll have now is a table with questions, the right questions that you asked for your eligible list, and you'll have all these answers. Of course, these are nonsensical, and the candidate names. Now, if you don't want these questions, obviously you might not have 7, you can just delete here. And, what this does, and you'll see more of this later, is basically Coda will take these questions and then take the name out of them and randomize the order that you see them. So if you go to debiasing tab here, I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of what we've done, is now you have an answer to the question of why do you want this job that you put in earlier, but you don't see who answered it. You can't see that it was John Smith, etc. You can't see their race, their gender, their ethnicity, etc. And now you're going to rate them, and you're going to be able to do it without having been biased necessarily by kind of background information. So I hope that was helpful. Again, I know it required a little bit more interface with other programs, so I hope it wasn't too bad, but that's how you import data for the debiasing process. Thanks so much.